as they train for new jobs with expenses paid as part of the city's Train for Jobs SA program.
The thing I'm looking forward to the most is a steady career, being able to provide and be with my family and not have to worry about anything.
The excitement, it's the adrenaline rush. I love the adrenaline rush.
I mean, it's not easy, but once you learn, you'll get the hang of it.
After months of working out the details, leaders say there are now more than 2,000 people enrolled, hundreds already placed in new jobs. There are still spots open now, and in the fall, thousands more San Antonians can get similar help through SA Ready to Work. In this week's episode of Commerce Street, a business podcast from KENS 5, we talked with participants in the CDL program, in demand with a trucker shortage across the nation, providers for the program, and Mayor Ron Nirenberg about what's happening now and what's ahead. Even with stay-home orders lifted and shutdowns over, a lot of San Antonians are still out of work, have less work, or, like Maurice Gunn, are ready for a change. That's what brought him to the CDL program at Goodwill's Good Careers Academy.
I build chemical gas, oil, and nuclear refineries. I'm a pipe fitter. So at the beginning of the pandemic, we got laid off, a lot of us. So I was at home, and it was okay for a little while. But I likes to move around, stay busy, keep myself occupied, so I saw an advertisement about Project Quest, and I think my daughter had told me about it. So I went through the necessary procedures to apply for it, and just to, okay, my grandfather used to drive trucks, okay, cool. So I decided just, if he could drive it and, and do the things that he was doing while driving it, I could do that. Yeah. And plus I wanted something else under my belt as a skill, and not just to be just one-dimensional in my skills, So it was another opportunity, and in every opportunity, every skill that I learned, I can make a business from that skill, and that's where I'm at.
Ed Lopez's job was also affected by the pandemic. A loss, but this was a chance to try something he'd always wanted to do.
Basically, I've always been wanting to do it. I always had a fascination with the big trucks, and I've had my grandfather was in the trucking industry for a long, long time. I have an uncle, the same thing, trucking industry for a long time. So kind of just felt like that's where what I wanted to go do. I haven't been to school in over 20 years, so it was like kind of nervous about coming back into school and like having to get your mind back right to studying and taking notes and learning. But like I said, our instructors have been real good about going over things with us. They've been real patient and helping us to guide us through all parts of the class so far, and it's been great. It's been a great experience.
Ed and Maurice are in class with Taejuan Bird, who says the process of getting into the class was easy, and that the course was a little tough at first, but good once you get the hang of it.
Well, I always wanted to get my CDL since I graduated high school, and it was the perfect time because I saw the flyer from Project Quest, and if you qualify, they basically pay for everything for you. Well, we do a lot of studying because we have to know the parts of the truck and what to look for and make sure nothing's broken. And then other than that, it's a lot of backing and downshifting, upshifting, a lot of driving. Learning how to maneuver this big old trailer. It was difficult at first because I never drove anything this big, but once you learn, it's easy.
The city's Train for Jobs SA program is funded through CARES Act money. They contract out with partners, including Project Quest. Here's President and CEO David Zamiello on how that works.
Project Quest, by nature, is a workforce intermediary. Our role in Train for Jobs is to facilitate residents gaining access to training programs and services and helping them guide them through a retraining program and get them ready for employment opportunities on the back end. And we've been doing that in the San Antonio community for almost 29 years now. So it's really an end-to-end set of services, from the intake and assessment to the training to the personal coaching and encouragement to job readiness to job placement, and then ensuring that they're persistent in the job. And those aren't just any jobs, jobs that pay a living wage so they can take care of their families.
Train for Jobs SA is still accepting applicants, though it runs for a limited time using CARES Act funding. In the fall, it'll transition into the SA Ready to Work program championed by Mayor Ron Nierenberg, that voters approved in November. Both will cover expenses beyond the cost of training. Here's Mayor Ron Nierenberg.
A lot of times, it's not really the cost of training that becomes the obstacle to completion and ultimately getting into a career. Many times it's childcare issues or transportation to training or to the job, or a financial issue that comes up related to rent or mortgage. So this program also wraps the participant around with community organizations and services available to anticipate any obstacles and remove them before they're reached, so that the participant can stay focused on completing the training and ultimately ending up in a gainful, economically mobile career for the benefit of themselves, their family, and the entire community. So that's what this program, that's why this program is so powerful, is that it stays with the participant from the intake process all the way through career placement. And that's why I think what we're doing at scale will become a national model, because we know that every city in the country, including San Antonio, has struggled with underemployment, and the results of that being persistent poverty and children raised in poverty that ultimately make the entire community slow down. And it also contributes to low-wage jobs that again, continue the cycles of poverty. So what we're doing is allowing folks to bridge the gap between jobs that are available and waiting for employees that require credentials and skills training, and then the workforce that we have here today. There are thousands of jobs available in our community in high-demand careers, high-wage careers, that simply can't hire the workers because they can't find workers that have that skill set or that credential. We're bridging that gap and ultimately creating economic mobility and fighting poverty within our city.
That support makes the difference for participants like Lopez.
I would definitely recommend checking out Project Quest, because it's not just CDL. They have a bunch of different programs that you can get into. Like for example, for us, I mean, they're what do you call it? Supporting us with the tuition, and then they're also giving stipend to help us that are less fortunate or don't have a job right now. They're helping us stay afloat while we're coming through training, and so all that is great, because you can focus on what you want to do and get your career moving.
When they complete the program, Lopez, Bird, and Gunn all have high hopes for the road ahead.
Just the thing I'm looking forward to the most is a steady career, and being able to provide and be with my family and not have to worry about anything.
Well, right now I'm trying to find my own place to live. That's the number one thing. But basically get financially stable and just have a good career. I would encourage anyone trying to find a good career. And if anybody wants a good place to learn how to drive trucks, Good Career Academy is the place to be.
Well, I'm gonna drive and stack my money up, first of all. I'm not gonna lie, it's just money in it. Come on now.
And it does pay well. It's a field that
it pays well.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, and it pays, it could get far past the income that I was making in the fields, in the refineries, depending on where I want to go with it. So basically, it's the money. It's also having another skill under my belt that excites me, and just doing something different. Going around driving and seeing the United States, or different parts of our country. That'll be something beautiful, and I like it. So hey, go figure.
Zamiello says there are a lot more spots open. People can call 311 to sign up.
So the encouragement is to take that chance, to step forward and see what Project Quest has to offer. We support over 32 different career tracks. Right now we have about 1,200 people in various stages of training. I think that one of the main things is that Project Quest serves in its intermediary role, that we have a very vast partnership network. So we work with a lot of key institutions here in the community. So Project Quest can be that one-stop shop to gain access to a variety of resources. What I mean by that is there's many different training partners, such as we work with Alamo colleges, Goodwill Academies, and programs like that to help make sure the right training programs are available and that you'll see them through that training process. But also we work with a number of employers, so they're looking at various employment opportunities along the way.
Mayor Ron Nierenberg says the city hopes to help thousands through both Train for Jobs and Ready to Work. If your job was impacted by the pandemic, you can call 311 now to apply.
I can't emphasize enough that there are slots available, that there are, if you are interested in training for a new career, that again pays well and offers economic mobility, a career trajectory, and a career and job field that is available today in our community. Train for Jobs SA, and ultimately next year SA Ready to Work are open and available. People can call 311 for more information. And Train for Jobs SA, knowing that the training tracks are happening immediately, people will receive a stipend while they're in the training program, and from intake ultimately to career placement, there will be services available to ensure the participant's success.
This was Commerce Street, a business podcast from KENS 5. To hear more episodes like this one, you can subscribe on Apple or Spotify, or visit kens5.com/Commerce Street. I'm Eric Zuko with producer Kristen Dean. Thanks for listening.